Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on the Corona bracelet, and the Corona bracelet goes with this Corona ring that I just did a video on. So here it is. It's the same as the ring, only it's in bracelet form, done with 8/0 seed beads and 4mm pearls, and we have a clasp on this one, where of course we don't on the ring. So this bracelet and ring is part of the Eclipse and full moon series. So here are the Eclipse earrings that started everything, and then here's the full moon necklace, which this video will be coming up very soon. So stay tuned for that one. But today we're going to work on this. So let me pull these two aside, and we'll take a look at the bracelet. So here it is. As I said, it's the same as the ring, using 8/0 seed beads and 4mm pearls. It does have a clasp, so the procedure is going to be a little bit different. And I've used a box clasp, a 2-strand box clasp here. And the bracelet kind of curves in the center because of the pearls, see? So when you hold it out, it looks like that. So it curves right around your wrist. Really pretty, very easy. I think you're really going to enjoy this one. So let's get a materials list going right now so we get started on this bracelet. All right, so let me pull out a teeny bit. So you're going to need some 8/0 seed beads, and I'm using Miyuki Opaque Opal Luster. So this reminded me of a pearl. So instead of the pearls on the outside, I'm going to make the bracelet out of like a bead that looks like a pearl. So I have that. You're going to need some 4mm pearls, and I'm using a black pearl here. A little contrast so you can see what I'm doing, for those of you who haven't done the ring. I've got a little box clasp. This is, I think, a 9x16mm Filagree Box Clasp. I've used these a lot in the past. You need a little stop bead. I'm using Wildfire beading thread. You can use Fireline for this. Using a size 10 beading needle, which I haven't used in a long time because we've got these nice big beads to go through, so you really don't have to worry about getting through the beads. All right, so gather up your materials and we'll get started on this pretty bracelet. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So the way this bracelet is constructed, it's constructed in 2 strands. So we're going to make 2 separate strands, and then we're going to sew them together and put pearls in the middle. So we have to make 2 strands. So for your first strand, string on about 6 feet of Fireline or Wildfire. Put on a stop bead, just leave enough of a tail to sew in. For the second strand, you'll need about 4 feet of thread, because the first strand we're going to use it to sew the pearls in on the top, and the second strand we don't need to do that. So one 6 feet, one about 4 feet. String on a number of beads, and what you want here is you want this bracelet to come all the way around and have about a 1/2 inch or a little bit more for the clasp. You don't want it too loose, but it's a fit. You want it to fit your wrist. You don't want it to drape, but you don't want it to be so tight that you're going to stretch it out. So leave about a 1/2 inch for your clasp. So just wrap your beads around and make sure you have a 1/2 inch of an opening there to fit this clasp in. All right, so if you, just for an example, if my 7-inch bracelet, I'm going to make, a 6.5 inch piece, or my, a 6.5 inch bracelet, I'm going to make a 6-inch piece. And for 6 inches, you're going to need 70 8/0 seed beads. So adjust it, just adjust it by an even number. Okay, so whatever fits. All right, so I've got my stop bead at one end. I've got my 8/0s on, and then I'm just going to take it and drape it over my finger, just because it's easier to work this way. I'm going to pull in a little bit. So here you have all your beads. Here's your thread. Pick up 2 8/0s coming out of the bottom. Just come through the last 2 beads, just like that. Pull that down. Just like that. And don't worry if it travels, we can always pull it up just like that. And this is what you have. Come back through the 2 you just put on. Just like that. This is what you have. So all your loose beads are over here, and the beads that you've sewn together are here. Pick up 1 bead, grab one of your loose beads and the bead underneath, so you're going down 1 loose one, and the bead underneath it, and then come back up the 2 beads right there. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Pick up one bead, grab a loose bead, come down that bead and the bead underneath it. Come down, and then up 2. So you're going down 2, up 2. Pick up a bead, come down 1 bead and the bead underneath it. So it's down 2, and your thread just about tells you where to go there. See that? Up 2. Pick up a bead, go down 2, up 2. That's what you're going to do the whole way down. Just grab a loose bead, come down that bead and the bead underneath it, down 2, just come across and go back up these 2 on the other side. So you're doing that over and over again until you've gotten all your beads sewn together. And this is what it's going to look like. Just like that when you sew them together. So just down 2 and up 2, down 2, up 2. Okay, so go ahead and get that done, and when you get to the end, meet me back here and I'll show you the next step. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back and I have my little mini bracelet going here. So here, let's say we've come to the end of your entire strand here. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to reinforce. But before we reinforce, and this is something I didn't do on the ring, but I just, I was looking when I was doing the bracelet and I thought this might be helpful. So you see this little strand in the center here? I'm just going to tie a half hitch knot there. It kind of ends the thread at that point so it doesn't pull. So here we're just going to pull it into the other side. So you've done a little half hitch knot, and now come down all the beads on the other side. And this is what we're going to do to reinforce. So come down, just like that. See, this way when you pull it, you're not pulling, you're not racking it out terribly. And then do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to come and I'm going to put a little half hitch knot right there. And then I'm going to come back this way and reinforce this side. Just like that, right? And then this is what you're going to have. All right, so get that done and then meet me back here with both of your pieces, do both of them, and then we'll start sewing them together. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So I have both my pieces here ready to go, and this is how I'm going to set them up. I have my thread coming out of this. I want this bead on the inside. I'm going to sew these 2 together. But before we do that, let's get some numbers going here. So however many beads you have in your length, I have 70. We're going to use that number in order to figure out when to start putting the pearls on. So we need a span of 16 beads in the center to fit the pearls on. So for my 70 beads, or any number of beads in your length, you subtract 16 from that number and then divide the remainder by 2, and that will be the number you will sew in. So for example, my 70 beads minus 16 is 54, divided by 2 is 27. If you have 72, minus 16, 56, divided by 2 is 28. All right, so you're just going to take whatever number, subtract 16, divide the remainder by 2, and come in that amount. All right, so let's get started doing that. So I'm going to hold my 2 pieces just like this. I'm coming out of here, and right now we're just sewing together. We're just using needle and thread, no beads. So we're coming out of here, just come down, 2 beads, like that. I'll show you the thread path, and come up 2, just like that. I'm going to pull. Then I'm going to come down the 2 I came down before plus 2 more. So down 4, up 2. This is what we're going to do until we get our number sewed together. So do it again. Just make sure that you're getting the bead directly across from the bead you're coming out of. You don't want to mess it up and sew through one above or below. It's going to look all wonky. So here your thread just about tells you where to go here. Come down the 4. Just like that. Here your thread is kind of telling you where to go. Or count. Just make sure you don't mess that up. I have done it many times. Up 2. Down 4. Up 2. Just like that. So keep doing that until you get close to your number done, like a few beads before being done. And then meet me back here and I'll show you how to transition to the pearls. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back and I have 20 beads sewn on. I'm working on 20 for my next 2, so 22. So here I'm coming out of here. I'm going to go the up 2. That's going to be 22 beads. Then down 4. Up 2. That's going to be 24 beads. Down 4. Make sure you're going in the right direction. Up 2, that's going to be 26 beads. Then I'm going to come down, because I have 27, I have an odd number, and that's fine. Just instead of coming down 4, just come down 3. So the 2 you were coming out of, and then add 1. That's going to put my 27th bead sewn on. And then I'm just going to come up 2. And then I'm going to come down, so I have all 27 beads sewn on now. Even though I'm coming out of here, my beads sewn on here. So I'm just going to go back here. So this is this, and come down 2, because we don't need to come down 4. So I have all 27 beads sewn on right now. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to get to that point and then come down. So you're coming out of here, right there. Just come down 1 more bead before we put the pearls on. Just whatever your number is, come down 1 extra bead, because it's just going to give us a little space to get that pearl on. So get to this point and meet me back here and we'll start putting pearls on. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back and I'm ready to put my pearls on. So here I have my whole end done. I've come down that 1 extra bead. I'm just going to hold it over my finger, just like that. I'm coming out of this bead right here. Okay. So pick up a 4mm pearl, or you can use a bicone, whatever. And I want to sew this directly across here. So you're coming out of here, make sure you're going to the bead directly across, just like that. Come up 1. And then I want you to come back across. See how my thread is showing me where to go there? Come down 3. So it's going to be up 1, down 3. That's going to pop the pearl on. Just make sure you're coming through the bead that's directly across the one you're coming out of. So I'm coming out of this one. Just look at it. Make sure it's right. Coming through the one directly across. Just like that. Give it a little pull. You want to come back through the one directly across the one you're coming out of. And then 2 more. So down 3. Just like that. See that? Sometimes it's really helpful, or it is really helpful to hold it around your finger. That way you can hold the beads in place so that these don't move around. So here I'm coming out of here. Come up. This one. Come back across. See that? Down 3. Do one more time. Up 1. Just like that. A little tug. So you want to pull it together. Down 3. Just like that. And do that. This is what it looks like. Do that until you have 8 4mm pearls on, and the back should be sewn together like that. So do that until you have 8 pearls on, and then meet me back here and we'll put the other 2 rows of pearls on. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back and I have all 8 pearls on, and you can just leave it like this. We did the ring with you know, a single row or the triple row. But we're going to add more pearls on. But before we do that, we're going to sew the rest of the bracelet together. All right. So for those of you who just want the one row, we'll get you finished on the bracelet here. So make sure, so you're coming out of here, see which bead we're coming out of? All right, because we put the last pearl on, we came down this bead. I want you to sew these together. So come up two, just with thread, just like that. I want you to come across, just like that. So I'm pulling my thread across here. Just make sure you're going down the right beads. Come down 4. So we're going to do the same thing we did when we sewed the first part together. So here we're right here. See that? So we're going to come up 2, down 4. Just like that. And so we're going to do that all the way to the bottom. And if you only have one bead left, you know, it doesn't matter. Just sew it together like we did when we sewed, you know, the first part together. All right, so then meet me at the end and we'll continue. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. And I have both my ends sewn together, and I have my 8 pearls in the middle, and then we're going to get to those other 2 rows. I just want to show those of you who want to finish at this point how to put the clasp on. So here's my working thread. I'm coming out of one of these beads here, right there at the end, probably in one. I'm just going to take this working thread and get it out of the way. Actually, if your working thread is long enough, come on all the way down to where the pearls are, and we'll use it to put the pearls on. So I'm just getting it out of the way at the moment. So, you know, we can just come down here. Right, so I'm coming out of a bead on the side here. I'm just going to come through these 2. I'm just going to set this thread up for putting the other pearls on, and then I'm going to come up these 2. So I'm coming out of here. I'm just going to come up these 2, just like that. Then I'm just going to put that aside. So let's get the clasp on at this point, and we'll get back to the pearls. All right, so here's our end. And I have a piece of tail thread that's has plenty of thread on it for me to get this clasp on. You can put your clasp on separately. I always recommend that. So you can just add a thread at this point and you put your clasp on separately. So I'm just going to hold it like this. And all I've done is I've put on a couple of beads and a pearl just for decoration. So I'm going to pull a pearl out. I'm going to take an 8/0. I'm going to pull in a little bit. Take an 8/0. I'm going to come through you see this clasp has some rings coming out, and you know, see the direction the rings are going in. If your clasp doesn't have that, just put a couple of jumping rings on. Just makes it very easy. So I'm going to come through the ring, the dangling ring, right there with my 8/0, just like that. Then I'm going to pick up my pearl. Now I'm going to pick up another 8/0 and then my pearl, and then another 8/0. So 8/0, pearl, 8/0, come through the next dangling ring, just like that. I think that's what I did. Actually, I'm not sure. Let's see. Yep, just like that. Pick up another 8/0, come through just a couple of beads here, just like that. And that's going to attach the clasp. It's kind of pretty the way it's attached. All right, so then here we are. We want to reinforce this. So come up these 2. Come down these 2. Just working our way across to get to the other end so I can come up and reinforce. I'm going to come through these end 2. And then I'm just going to go through all the beads and the rings again. So here, coming through these guys. It's like that. So just retrace your thread path. Come down maybe a couple more. And you can do that a couple of times until you feel that it's nice and strong. And then just weave through some of the beads and tie a couple of half hitch knots. So I'm not going to go through again, but you can do that. And then, you can tie a knot here. Let's see if I can grab a thread. Like that. And then make sure you pull that knot into some of the beads, and then go down and tie a couple more half hitch knots, and then do the exact same thing on the other side. So here's the other part of the clasp. So you're just going to do the exact same thing on this side, and then your clasp is on. All right, so then meet me back here, and I'll show you how to get the last 2 rows of beads on. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and so in the last segment I kind of showed you how to snake around and get your thread coming out of this bead that's under the pearl, just that one. And if you don't have enough thread, if you didn't have enough on your tail or your working thread, then just attach another thread and just make sure you're coming out of, let's say, this bead right here. So here I am. I'm just going to put my needle and thread right through the pearl, that end pearl, just like that. It's just going to set me up to put the second row of pearls on, second and third row of pearls. Okay, so here we go. So you need some 11-ohs here, so grab some 11-ohs. So pick up an 11-oh, a pearl, and an 11-oh. Coming out of this pearl, just come through this one, just like that. Pick up an 11-oh, a pearl, an 11-oh. Come around through this one, the pearl and the 11-oh, just like that. Give it a pull. You want that tight. Come through the pearl and the 11-oh, just like that, and then the pearl and the 11-oh, just like that. And I'm just moving my bracelet around just to make it comfortable for me to sew. Just give it a tug. Pick up a pearl and 11-oh. Coming out of here, this 11-oh, come through this pearl, pick up an 11-oh and a pearl, come through the 11-oh, pearl, and 11-oh on this side, give it a pull, come through the pearl, the 11-oh, the pearl, and the 11-oh, just set yourself up. I'm just going to move it this way to put the next group on. Pick up a pearl, an 11-oh, coming out of this 11-oh, come through that one, just like that. Pick up an 11-oh, 11-oh, and a pearl. Come through the 11-oh, pearl, 11-oh, just like that. Give it a pull. Come through the pearl and the 11-oh. Come through the pearl and the 11-oh. Just like that. Alright, so then just keep doing that. And it's good to keep it around your finger. It makes it nice and tight, and it also makes it bump up a little bit, which is nice for the fit. So continue that until the end, and then I'll show you how to tack it down. Alright, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So I'm just going to finish this last bit with you. So I'm just coming, I've put my last group of pearls on, so you want to come, we're just coming around like we did before. There we go. And I'm desperately low on thread. So I'm going to do my best to get this last little bit on. Okay, so you're just coming out of the 11-oh, so just tack it down by coming through this seed bead and this seed bead. So you're just pulling it down, and then come back up these two right next to them. Okay, just like that. Just like that. All right, and then you can just go around again. So I can't get through. You can actually come through both of the, these 3 beads, just whatever it takes to tack it down. Oh, that worked out well, just like that. And then, tack it, tie a few half hitch knots, and, you won't be short on thread like I was. All right, so let's take a look at our bracelets. Now, this one is looking a little funky to me because it's the black thread with these white pearls. It really doesn't look good, and I didn't put the other end on. But so let's look at the pretty one, all right? All right, and I did the black thread, so, because I wanted you to see the thread paths and make it easy for you to see it, but it looks really wonky with the black thread. Okay, so here's our bracelet. This is the way it looks. Really pretty, very simple, looks great with the ring. All right, okay, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have fun making this. It really, it's very simple, just like the ring. Probably a little simpler than the ring because it's got a clasp. So enjoy making this, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.